Welcome to Research Hub. Main difference between quantitative and qualitative research is the type of data they collect and analyze. Quantitative research collects numerical data and analyzes it using statistical methods. The aim is to produce objective, empirical data that can be measured and expressed in numerical terms. Quantitative research is often used to test hypotheses, identify patterns, and make predictions. On the other hand, collects non-numerical data such as words, images, and sounds. The focus is on exploring subjective experiences, opinions, and attitudes, often through observation and interviews. Qualitative research aims to produce rich and detailed descriptions of the phenomenon being studied. There are different types of qualitative research methods, including diary accounts, in-depth interviews, documents, focus groups, case study research, and ethnography. The results of qualitative methods provide a deep understanding of how people perceive their social realities and in consequence. Here are some examples of qualitative data. 1. Interview transcripts, verbatim records of what participants said during an interview or focus group. They allow researchers to identify common themes and patterns, and draw conclusions based on the data. Interview transcripts can also be useful in providing direct quotes and examples to support research findings. 2. Observations. The researcher typically takes detailed notes on what they observe, including any contextual information, nonverbal cues, other relevant details. The resulting observational data can be analyzed to gain insights into social phenomena, such as human behavior, social interactions. 3. Unstructured interviews. Generate qualitative data through the use of open questions. This allows the respondent to talk in some depth, choosing their own words. This helps the researcher develop a real sense of a person's understanding of a situation. 4. Diaries or journals, written accounts of personal experiences or reflections. Here are some limitations of qualitative research. 1. Because of the time and costs involved, qualitative designs do not generally draw samples from large-scale data sets. The problem of adequate validity or reliability is a major criticism. Because of the subjective nature of qualitative data and its origin in single contexts, it is difficult to apply conventional standards of reliability and validity. Also, contexts, situations, events, conditions, and interactions cannot be replicated to any extent, nor can generalizations be made to a wider context than the one studied with confidence. The time required for data collection, analysis, and interpretation is lengthy. Analysis of qualitative data is difficult, and expert knowledge of an area is necessary to interpret qualitative data. Great care must be taken when doing so, for example, looking for mental illness symptoms. Advantages of qualitative research. Because of close researcher involvement, the researcher gains an insider's view of the field. This allows the researcher to find issues that are often missed, such as subtleties and complexities, by the scientific, more positivistic inquiries. Qualitative descriptions can be important in suggesting possible relationships, causes, effects, and dynamic processes. Qualitative analysis allows for ambiguities/contradictions in the data, which reflect social reality. Qualitative research uses a descriptive, narrative style. This research might be of particular benefit to the practitioner as she or he could turn to qualitative reports to examine forms of knowledge that might otherwise be unavailable, thereby gaining new insight. What is quantitative research? Quantitative research involves the process of objectively collecting and analyzing numerical data to describe, predict, or control variables of interest. The goals of quantitative research are to test causal relationships between variables. Quantitative researchers aim to establish general laws of behavior and phenomenon across different settings/contexts. Research is used to test a theory and ultimately support or reject it. Quantitative methods. Experiments typically yield quantitative data, as they are concerned with measuring things. However, other research methods, such as controlled observations and questionnaires, can produce both quantitative information. Limitations of quantitative research. 1. Context. Quantitative experiments do not take place in natural settings. In addition, they do not allow participants to explain their choices or the meaning of the questions they may have for those participants. Researcher expertise. Poor knowledge of the application of statistical analysis may negatively affect analysis and subsequent interpretation. Variability of data quantity. Large sample sizes are needed for more accurate analysis. Small-scale quantitative studies may be less reliable because of the low quantity of data. This also affects the ability to generalize study findings to wider populations. Confirmation bias. The researcher might miss observing phenomena because of focus on theory or hypothesis testing rather than on the theory of hypothesis generation. Advantages of quantitative research. Scientific objectivity. Quantitative data can be interpreted with statistical analysis, and since statistics are based on the principles of mathematics, the quantitative approach is viewed as scientifically objective and rational. Useful for testing and validating already constructed theories. Rapid analysis. Sophisticated software removes much of the need for prolonged data analysis, especially with large volumes of data involved. Replication. Quantitative data is based on measured values and can be checked by others because numerical data is less open to ambiguities of interpretation. Hypotheses can also be tested because of statistical analysis. Don't forget like, share and subscribe my channel.